Alright, cool. Let's try this. Sorry about the delay, folks. Just having some technical difficulties. Because, you know, it wouldn't be a typical day in the neighborhood if I just had everything working in my way. But, you know, if that's the worst of the things that happen, then I'm doing alright. Alright, let's let the video catch up so I can share it around. Once I share this, then we can get going. Oh, I might want to hit go live. Oh, silly me. Alright, cool. Let's start the process of getting this thing up and running. I have not done a live in a long time, so I'm a little rusty on all the things that I need to do in regards to getting the live up and running and all that jazz. So I have much apologies to that. I will be sharing this shortly, so if you're not finding it, not seeing it, I don't know, lost in the grand ethereal of life, then by all means feel free to wait until I share. Otherwise, yeah, welcome to my live. I'm going to talk about and do a little comparison on the runes here. Once I share this to a bunch of groups, which I'm doing now, it takes a little bit of time to do this. So I'm going to do my best to get this done lickety-split so that you can take part in this little presentation. Feel free to ask questions as I share information. No question is too stupid. You'll get caught up in all that. So yeah, just let me know if you have questions as we go. I'll do my best to respond to questions in regards to the presentation, and then after I'm done presenting, I'm gonna do some live readings with the rune systems that I know. With the Ogon, I'm gonna have my notebook, so bear with me on that. That's just gonna be a thing that has to happen. So, alright, I can't think of anywhere else that I want to kind of, hey Denise, welcome, welcome. Sorry I didn't see you sooner. I kind of just getting things up and running here. Let me start the presentation here shortly, and then I'll get things going, but thank you for joining me. We're going to do a presentation on the rune comparisons, so I'm going to switch over to sharing my screen with you, so you're going to see some stuff before I switch over to the presentation. You're not going to see me during the presentation because it's going to take up my whole screen. Sorry about that. Here we go. So this is comparing the runes. This is the Nordic and Celtic story. I'm James Neubauer. I'm an intuitive reader in Glyphis. And this is Spirit Wolf Visions. So let's talk about this. A little bit of history. So the Norse runes were the first known inscriptions were in the 2nd century. Some people argue that it was used a century before that, and the Celtic version was dated around 200, 300. Common Era time. It's believed to be the creation of one man. My research didn't quite say who that man was per se. It's just kind of what I was reading in the book. So that's kind of an interesting little history fact. And as I go through, I'll answer questions at the end because I can't see the comment box right now. Here's a little bit of the Nordic tale. So Odin is a god of wisdom. He hung upside down from the tree of life for 9 days and 9 nights. And he sacrifices himself into Mir's Well, which is like the Norse mythology's version of the gateway to the underworld. He sacrifices an eye to drink from the spring of Mirror, which is like a spring of knowledge, basically. And he learns 18 runes. In the actual Nordic runes, there's 24, so I don't know what the difference of 18 and 24 is. I don't know where the extra 6 come from. That's just part of the tale. And then he gives those runes to the inhabitants of Midgard. So if you're unaware with Norse mythology, Earth is Midgard. So there's the little bit of the Norse tale for you. Here's the Celtic story. So it is invented by Ogam, the sun-faced god of wisdom. Look at that little parallel there. He's also about learning eloquence. But we're not told how he invents them. There's no myth of the tale of the runes here. But there's some deep similarities that suggest that a similar tradition may once have existed between the two. I read that in a book called Remnants of Rune Lore. So here's the similarities of the origins. They both have a god that involves and relates to wisdom. They both have stories of going into a cave or well. They both were used in writing on natural materials like stone and wood. They both have influences from what was important to the culture. Those are some of the similarities. Here's where the divination is also similar. They both have nature in the system. There are trees that match the Nordic system from the Celtic system. I found that really interesting. They both have aspects of going into an opening in the ground. They both are masked in mystery, and they both have a similar layout when you use them. So those are some divination similarities. Here is a little chart that I created. You won't find this anywhere online. I just compared each Ogam or few with each Nordic rune. So up here you see Birkena and Birch. So Birkena and Birch are together because in one of the books it said that the Birch was related to Birkena, and they're both related to birth. So I kind of went through and created my own chart. If you want a copy of this chart or would like to see the full version, please let me know. I can email it to you. Just drop your email in the comment box. Gotcha. Okay, so here's some differences in the divination. So as I said, the Nordic runes have 24. They're not historically documented as divination. There's a discrepancy there, and they are called runes. So there's discrepancy between that is that part of the lore and the history kind of indicates that people would read the bones with symbols on it, but it never really says what the symbols are. Could have been runes, yes. Could have been something else, yes. So there's a lot of debate on the runes being used as divination for a long period of time. The actual first documented existence of the runes being used as divination was in the 1980s due to a man named Ralph Bloom. Okay, so the Celtic version has 25 runes. So there's one rune difference. There's some documentation, but the information varies. That's kind of one problem that I had researching the Celtic version, because in the Celtic version, the divination also includes trees that have classifications of chieftain, peasant, and shrub. And depending on what source I looked at, those were marked differently. And it kind of indicates from my research that depending on the information will depend on how you classify the trees. And in the Celtic version, they're called fuse. Alright, so they're both alphabets. In the Norse, there's many runes that represent multiple letters. They were always used for writing, and each rune represents an aspect around the Saxon's life, like animals, weather, the human existence, things like that. And the Celtic version, it's based off of Old Welsh, so there's some letters that don't exist. There's one rune for one letter, usually. Each rune also represents a tree or a plant, and each tree and plant also has their own meaning behind the rune. Okay, so it says demonstration time. I'm going to skip that because I'm going to just get out of here and check the comments so far. Okay, hi guys, welcome. Let me flip back over to my little face so that you're not just seeing that. Welcome, welcome. So you're seeing the references real quick and all that jazz. So do you know this PowerPoint was highly researched by me? I just kind of did a lot of reading and research to know like what the information was that was out there. So do know that these are secondhand sources. The first-hand sources are a little harder because they're in other languages that I don't know. So yeah, that's it for the presentation. Did you guys have questions or want to know more? Please feel free to ask. Otherwise, we can get to the demonstration part where I will pull from either Celtic or Norse runes and do like a message for you. And I thought that would be a fun way to kind of interact with the systems in a minor way, where in a reading I would do a lot more for you than pull one. So I'll let this catch up because on the Facebook version, things are a little slower because I'm using OBS, and that's okay. So we'll let it catch up to where I'm at in regards to the live and see if people have questions in regards to the presentation. Hello, all you wonderful people joining us. Kara, welcome, welcome. I'm glad that you can join me. If you're just joining me now, feel free to review the presentation if you're so inclined to want to know more. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff I'm wearing. I'm wearing my crown and my necklace. I made this necklace today. That's kind of exciting. I love it. I love this necklace already. So, alright, I guess we'll just skip right over to we'll skip right over to the live readings, and I'm looking for a piece of paper to write on. I don't think I left all my stuff. Here we go. Okay, cool. So I'm glad that you were all able to make that. So I'll write down names of anybody who wants to get a card pulled or a rune pulled. And then just a reminder when it comes to, I am so lost in life. Just 1 second. I had to find a pen. Okay, so I will write down names, and I will write down anybody who wants a reading, and then I'll go from there. And if nobody wants one, that's okay too. We'll just go with what you guys want, but I'm open to questions about runes, or if you want to have me draw one, I'll do that. Or we can end this too, whichever you guys want. I just kind of want this presentation to be kind of open-ended and flexible in the regards of what's happening. Alright, again, I'll try to let it catch up just because OBS tends to be a little slow in regards to the upload to Facebook. Alright. Oh, show the necklace off. Gosh, this thing is not like scrolling very well. Alright, let's try this part. Let's see. There we go. We'll do that. Alright, cool. This is the necklace I made today. I'm gonna just move the camera down so you can see it. Sorry about the juggly little camera view, but it's got some labradorite, some amethyst, some cherry quartz, And two stones I don't remember the name of, but that's okay. I love it. I made it, so I'm just loving the little necklace here. And I have my little dragon claw on too. So yeah, apparently things are not scrolling very well, so yeah, it does match my crown, because it matches my crown because I use some of the same stones that I used from the crown from the, so I had some extras and I kind of left it to make a necklace, but I added some things to the necklace that aren't on the crown. So the necklace has some things that the crown doesn't have, and and I guess the crown has everything the necklace does have, for the most part, except for a few things. So, sounds like Tiffany wants a demo. Tiffany would love to learn about runes, and I would love to teach her someday. So that's a plan for next year. Tiffany, I'm gonna draw a rune for you and kind of do like a little demonstration. Hopefully, I'll just grab one. Okay, so here we go, Tiffany. And I have to kind of look at what OBS is showing you. There we go. So OBS is showing you this lovely little rune that I pulled for Tiffany. And Tiffany, this is the rune of hail. Okay, the rune of hail is a rune that comes up when change is coming and you can't really avoid the change. So you either accept that this change is happening or it's just going to happen even if you don't want it to happen. The rune of hail is kind of like a destruction for a purpose. So things have to kind of be cleared away for the new path ahead of you. So that's kind of like a little demo of what you can do for a quick message. Like, I would have to do a whole video on a rune reading, and if you want, actually, why don't I do that? I'm gonna grab a video to put in YouTube that I did a rune reading with Martha a long time ago, but it would be maybe helpful to all of you to see what a rune reading is really about and to see what one might be like. So I'll slap that in to the comment box. You're welcome, Tiffany. And in the comment box, you can then go to the video and watch this wonderful video on rune reading that I did. So there's the video. I'm going to slap that sucker in. Feel free to watch that. That will show you like a whole rune reading and what it looks like. It doesn't mean that all rune readings are going to go this way. It's just how that particular rune reading went. It was wonderful. I'm going to pull a card from the deck for the Ogham. And since people aren't necessarily wanting readings, I'll go ahead and end after this. So this will be kind of like a message for everyone kind of thing. So we'll go with that. And then I'll go ahead and get off of here. But feel free to reach out anytime if you have questions in regards to runes, or you want to know what my next event's going to be, or you want to know when I'm going to have a class. That's going to happen. Classes are going to happen next year for sure. But yeah, just ask anything really. I mean, I'll answer if I can, if it's something I can answer, but feel free to reach out, and especially if you have questions in regards to my services. So, all right, message of the week in regards to the Ogham. All right, I'm gonna find my page here, and then I'm gonna show the card because this is gonna be great. So here we go. Here is the card. This is the Grove. So the Grove is a sacred space. It is time to reconnect to what is spiritually meaningful to you. It is time to consider the sacred and connect to the source. Take time to sit in silence and renew your year. Review your year, sorry. So your spiritual support team is trying to send the message that you are loved, supported, and healing is on the way. This card also represents the community. Spend time with like-minded others in ritual or ceremony. Reconnect with the source together. So for your journey, all knowledge hidden in the trees, this knowledge holds comprehension for all that you already know or are capable of learning. So that's a little message of the day. Uh-oh, I froze on my video. Looks like I'm frozen. So I'm going to go ahead and hopefully that will, let's look at the other video and see if it's frozen there too, or if I just need to hit refresh maybe? I don't know. Maybe I screwed it up. I have no idea. I probably just did. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I hope you all have a blessed night, and thanks for watching.